Hi everyone, this is Zoya with a little video I wanted to show you. I recently purchased a couple Spellbinders from let's see, Flowers to Flourishes. It came as a set. I think it was $29.99 plus maybe $5 shipping. And it included these two Spellbinders nestabilities. And these are part of the new Majestic elements. They're designed so that you can cut in various ways in different pieces, as well as different of the die templates combined together to give you a combination of shapes. You can kind of see that here. I have two here. This is the opulent ovals and the adorning squares. So I did a series of, and this is what they look like. Similar to any of the other, nest abilities, but they have varying shapes to them. And I wanted to just show you a little preview of what they look like. So let me go ahead and get some of what I die cut with those. And they're interesting because they're designed to have for both the positive and negative. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So I'm going to start with the ovals. So I've cut out a series of them in both black cardstock and cream cardstock. So that right there is the outermost die, which is this one right here. So that die gives you this. And I found it pretty easy to cut out. I did not, a lot of people recommend the wax paper. I didn't do the wax paper. It seemed to come out fairly easily. This is the thinner side of cardstock. This is, it's either Michael's or Joann's, and this is the black and the cream that they have available there. Then I cut out, let's see, I'm going to move those. This is the next die. So there's the next die. That's both in black and white, or black and cream. Alright, those are fairly straightforward cutout, basically a intricate frame for you. And obviously you can nest these if you want with your die cuts. Contrasting colors, it would look nice like that. Now, the next one is this one. I'm just going to show these two right here. So this one will cut out that, but you'll see on the edges here, there's like little, I don't know what you call them, teeth marks, or little serrations, I guess, similar. Let me show you these are some of the negatives I cut out. So you can see that there's like little holes and little impressions here, even on the negative pieces. So these would be good to cut out for a window or something. So this happens to be this die. You can see there's really not an impression there. It's just a straight cutout, but on the negative side you get the impression. And then this is the negative of one of these larger dies. And again, you get a lot of design on the edge as well for the negative. So that's sort of interesting. And next one is, let's see, I might be out of frame there. This one here. This one here. So these are good to nest. So here's the black and the cream. And the cream and the black layered on top of each other. Like I said, these ovals, I didn't have any problem really punching or, cutting or getting any of the pieces out of the metal. Next one down is this intricate one here. And this one. Again, these would look very good nested. You can nest any way you want to. You could also cut that out of the top frame if you wanted a hole in your frame. And then the bottom one has two pieces. That's the bottom piece, which is this outer cut here. Move these out of the way. And this sort of intricate little design here. So you get this one and this one. And then here, these would be good for layering on top again. There. So those two go together nicely. And you'll see again that there is a bit of the, all of these dies do have that impression on the cutout. So there's like little indentations there, little holes here. So again, the negative side would also be very nice for a window or a frame in a solid page. And if you'll notice, these ones have these little sort of tabby things on the side. I think they're probably really too small for a brad, so I think it's more of a decorative element than anything else. But these are really nice. I think I'll definitely use these a lot. I didn't try with pattern paper, so I'm not sure. I noticed sometimes some of the die cuts, if they're too intricate, I don't know. My opinion is they don't look that good with pattern paper if they're too intricate, because the designs kind of get lost. So that's example of the oval there. Again, that is Opulent Ovals, part of the Majestic Elements series. So let me just move that one out of the way, and I'm going to show you the other one that came with the two-piece set that I bought through, what was it? I'm sorry, Flowers to Flourishes, and they often do have Spellbinders die cuts on there. It's a daily scrapbook deal site, and they often have Spellbinders or Lifestyles, other types of dies on there. So this is Majestic Elements, and this is the, I'm sorry, Adorning Squares. I'm not sure what I called it, but the idea is mix and match to create 20 plus designs. So there's some ideas they give you there. And then these are the dies. So the outermost one is just like a background cut. And the next one is this one, which I don't know if you can tell by looking at it. This does not, okay, so I'm going to show you those two. And then here's a series of those. So this is the outermost one, which corresponds to this die. And then this inner die, the next level down is this intricate one. Looks really nice. Now I did find on this one it was a little fussier, a little harder to get it out of the die, especially these little curlicues here. I was able to do it. I did, when I ran it through die machine, I ran it through more than once, and I did the quarter turn. So I probably ran it through at least twice and did the quarter turn in between, because it did seem like, you know, one side cut better than the other or something. So I did that, and that seemed to be good. But I did have to take this piece and do, you know, with my piercing tool and punch through so that I could pull out all these little pieces. They were cut, but they were sort of stuck in there. You know, this little curlicue here is kind of delicate. So, I mean, in one case I might have torn it, but I think if I had been careful, I could have done it. I do recommend that you go ahead and try with the wax paper. I didn't have any at the time. I had parchment paper, which I didn't think made that much difference, so I'm going to try with the wax paper and see. But I think this was probably the only one that was intricate enough that I had to spend a little bit of time poking out. Most of the others came out fairly easily with me just pulling gently on them. So that's that, and that I think is really beautiful. You know, you got your square shape and then your inner sort of circle shape, and this would be great for mini albums, and I'm sure I will use this a lot. Again, the same thing as with the other one, the negative image also has impressions on there. And I do want to make one note here. I did not emboss any of these. So I did not run these with the embossing folder in them. So there's an additional edges that you may see with the, you know, more with the embossing folder. Some of these lines like here, these little indentations probably come out clear with the embossing folder, but I did not do any embossing. You know, some of them really don't really have any embossing edges, while some do. This one has like a little teeny lip around the edge that you would see with the embossing that you don't see on the one I did. Alright, and so here's the opposite. Here's the black solid background with the white. It might be easier to see those little... All right, let's continue. I'm recording with a camera, so it only lets me record 10 minutes at a time. So I guess I went over. So here, again, this is the third largest. It doesn't cut out our surrounding shape. So here's just a square I cut from cardstock, and this is what you get with it. So you get that impression there. And make a note that there's these little like slits here. And those are very purposely done so that you can fit in. Let me see, I don't know, I don't have a contrasting one, but you can fit in. This is, you go down to the next die, this one, and then this again doesn't cut a shape, so I put these two together and cut this shape from there. And this can actually fit into those little cut areas to make sort of another design. And obviously, you know, it's not that impressive with the white on white, but if you had a contrasting color then you really have a nice decorative element. Okay, so those slits are there on purpose so that these can kind of fit together. So again, this one just cuts this impression. So obviously you could have cut this one with that impression in there as well. So you could have had like double decoration in there. I didn't do one of those, but there's obviously lots of combinations. And then these two, so that's the interesting part about these, that they can be combined in many ways. These ones are both using these two. It depends how I aligned it. So I aligned it with sort of these circle elements on the sides. And then I decided to sort of turn it around in diagonal, and I kind of aligned those in a cross so that they lined up with the corners. And so those are the two different elements that I got from there. And again, these again have these little punched areas, slits that you could slide something in. Now this one goes down really tiny, and these are the two pieces. Now you'll notice that the littlest piece, no surrounding cutout. The only cutout is that tiny center piece. So if you cut it out by itself, it's going to cut that little teeny square-like hole in the middle, but it will not cut out the circle. But if you combine these together, this is what you get. You get that little element right there together. And of course, this little element can be used. I might have trouble getting it in on camera, but basically you could tuck in those little teeny points into those little slots there, and you could layer those shapes together in contrasting color. Well, obviously would be nice. So that's the majestic elements adorning squares, and the other one was the majestic elements opulent ovals. So guys, I know you loved your dies and Spellbinders nestabilities. These are going to take your nestabilities to the next level. So there's all kinds of combinations, and that's what's really nice, that they can be used together to make all different designs and shapes. So definitely check them out. I think I'll be doing a lot more cutting with these, and probably exploring a lot more ways to use them. Thanks a lot. Bye.